For weeks, Nigerians have been asking one question. How did Fubara's defection to APC happen so smoothly? How did a governor fighting his political godfather suddenly get presidential blessing to join the ruling party? How did Wike, the man who thought he controlled everything, fail to stop Fubara from escaping his grasp? And today, I'm going to tell you a story that's been circulating in political circles. A story that mainstream media won't report because it's happening behind closed doors. A story about how Hope Uzodinma, governor of Imo State, teamed up with Fubara to destroy Nyesom Wike's political career as revenge for Wike daring to interfere in Imo State politics. Stay with me to the very end of this video because what I'm about to reveal is not just political gossip. This is about how Wike made a catastrophic mistake. He tried to impose Samuel Anyanwu as APC's Imo State governorship candidate in 2027 as payment for helping destroy PDP. He did this underground, working with national APC leaders, thinking Hope Uzodinma wouldn't find out. But Uzodinma discovered what Wike was plotting. And Uzodinma, who is President Tinubu's closest governor, decided to teach Wike a lesson he'll never forget. Imo State is not Rivers State, and everybody is not Fubara. By the time I finish showing you how Uzodinma facilitated Fubara's defection as revenge, how he personally arranged Fubara's meeting with Tinubu, how he told APC national leaders to ignore Wike's desperate attempts to stop Fubara, and why Tinubu listens to Uzodinma more than anyone else in his government, you will understand that what looked like Fubara's independent decision was actually orchestrated by a governor teaching another governor not to cross boundaries. This is OK Igbo Vlog, and you are about to witness the behind-the-scenes power play that destroyed Wike's control over Rivers State. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button now because we expose the political secrets that mainstream media won't tell you, the real stories behind the headlines, the power moves nobody else is reporting. Like this video if you want to know the real story of how Uzodinma became the instrument of Wike's destruction. Share it with everyone who's been wondering why Fubara's defection happened so suddenly and so smoothly despite Wike's desperate attempts to stop it. Let me start from the beginning, because to understand why Uzodinma destroyed Wike, you need to understand what Wike did to provoke him. After the Ibadan convention, where Turaki was elected PDP national chairman, after Wike's faction formed their phantom caretaker committee with Samuel Anyanwu as acting national secretary, Wike had a problem. How does he reward Samuel Anyanwu for being the engine room of PDP's destabilization? How does he compensate the man who helped him fight legitimate PDP leadership, who stood by him even after being expelled from the party? Wike came up with a plan. Samuel Anyanwu had contested against Hope Uzodinma for Imo State governorship in November 2023 on PDP platform. He lost catastrophically, 71,503 votes compared to Uzodinma's 540,308 votes. But Wike calculated, Uzodinma is serving his second and final term, which ends in January 2028. He cannot run again, so there will be a succession battle in 2027 for who becomes Imo's next governor. And if Anyanwu could get APC's governorship ticket for that 2027 election with federal support and APC machinery behind him, he could become Imo's next governor. The problem was that Uzodinma, like every outgoing governor, has his own succession plan. He has people he's grooming to take over from him. He has allies he wants to position for the 2027 governorship race, and those people are not Samuel Anyanwu. But Wike didn't care about Uzodinma's succession plans, so Wike started working underground. He reached out to APC national leaders. He lobbied party stakeholders. He made his case. Anyanwu helped us weaken PDP at the national level. He sacrificed his party standing to fight against PDP leadership. We need to reward him, and the best reward is giving him APC's Imo governorship ticket for 2027. So Wike started working underground. He reached out to APC national leaders. He lobbied party stakeholders. He made his case. Anyanwu helped us weaken PDP at the national level. He sacrificed his party standing to fight against PDP leadership. We need to reward him, and the best reward is giving him APC's Imo governorship ticket for 2027. Wike's argument had some logic. Anyanwu was indeed helping APC by destabilizing PDP. And if APC wanted to encourage more opposition politicians to cross over or work against their parties, they needed to show that such loyalty would be rewarded. So some national APC leaders were actually listening to Wike's proposal. But Wike made one critical mistake. He was trying to impose Anyanwu as APC's candidate in Imo State without consulting Hope Uzodinma. He was interfering in Uzodinma's succession planning. He was treating Imo State like his personal political territory, where he could decide who gets governorship tickets, the same way he used to do in Rivers State. Every governor, especially one completing his final term, cares deeply about who succeeds him. Your successor either protects your legacy or destroys it. Your successor either continues your projects or abandons them. Your successor either respects you as a political elder or sidelines you into irrelevance. So succession planning is the most sensitive issue for any outgoing governor. And Wike was trying to hijack Uzodinma's succession process by imposing someone who had no connection to Uzodinma's administration, no loyalty to Uzodinma's political family, and whose only qualification was helping Wike destroy PDP. This was the mistake that triggered everything that followed. When Hope Uzodinma discovered what Wike was doing, and in Nigerian politics, secrets never stay secret for long, he was furious. Not just angry, furious. Because what Wike was attempting was the ultimate disrespect to a sitting governor. Sources say Uzodinma confronted some APC national leaders. What business does Naishem Wike have in Imo State politics? Who becomes Imo State governor is not Wike's decision to make. Does Wike think every state is Rivers State, where he can control who gets tickets? Does he think every governor will tolerate his interference the way Fubara initially did? And then Uzodinma reportedly said the words that became his mission statement. Imo State is not Rivers State, and I am not Fubara. That statement wasn't just anger, it was a declaration of war. Uzodinma was telling Wike, you controlled Rivers State through intimidation and godfatherism. You're trying to extend that control to Imo State, but I'm going to show you that your model doesn't work outside Rivers, and I'm going to teach you this lesson in a way you'll never forget. And how did Uzodinma decide to teach Wike this lesson? By taking away the one thing Wike still thought he controlled, Rivers State through Fubara. Here's where the story gets really interesting. Uzodinma knew that Wike's remaining power base was his ability to influence Rivers State through his connections, his money, his structures. Even though Fubara had resisted Wike, even though they were fighting, Wike still believed he could ultimately control Rivers State because Fubara was in PDP and Wike had connections across party lines. But what if Fubara joined APC? What if Fubara became an APC governor, subject to APC party discipline, protected by APC federal government? Then Wike would have zero leverage over him. Any attempt by Wike to fight Fubara would be APC fighting APC, and the party would obviously support their sitting governor over a minister who's causing internal problems. So Uzodinma decided the best way to punish Wike for interfering in Imo State is to facilitate Fubara's defection to APC, thereby completely removing Rivers State from Wike's sphere of influence. Sources in Abuja say Uzodinma personally reached out to Fubara through mutual contacts. The message was simple: if you join APC, the federal government will protect you completely. Wike will have no power to fight you. Your 2027 re-election will be guaranteed. All you need to do is make the move, and I'll handle the rest. Fubara, who had been weighing his options, suddenly had a powerful ally offering to facilitate everything. And not just any ally, Hope Uzodinma, who is arguably President Tinubu's closest and most trusted governor. Let me explain why Uzodinma has this kind of power with Tinubu, because it's critical to understanding how he pulled off Fubara's defection against Wike's wishes.
Hope Uzodinma is not just any APC governor. He is the chairman of the Progressive Governors Forum, which means he coordinates all APC governors and serves as their primary liaison with the presidency. When Tinubu wants to communicate with APC governors collectively, he goes through Uzodinma. When APC governors have issues to raise with the presidency, Uzodinma is their spokesman. But beyond this official role, Uzodinma has a personal relationship with Tinubu that goes back years. During Tinubu's presidential campaign, Uzodinma was one of his most active supporters in the southeast. When Tinubu won, Uzodinma became his main political advisor on southeast affairs. There's even a saying in political circles: if you want something from Tinubu, talk to Uzodinma first. Because Tinubu trusts Uzodinma's political judgment. When Uzodinma recommends something, Tinubu listens. When Uzodinma opposes something, Tinubu reconsiders. This is why Uzodinma's involvement in Fubara's defection was so decisive. Once Uzodinma decided to facilitate it, once he told Tinubu, "Mr. President, bringing Fubara into APC is good for the party and good for our strategy in the South-South," it was essentially a done deal. According to sources, here is how Uzodinma orchestrated Fubara's defection. Step 1. Uzodinma assured Fubara that presidential protection was guaranteed. He told Fubara, "The president has authorized me to tell you that once you join APC, you'll be treated as one of our own. No party member, including Wike, will be allowed to destabilize you." Step 2. Uzodinma personally arranged Fubara's meeting with Tinubu, not through official channels, not through the chief of staff, directly. Uzodinma called Tinubu and said, "Mr. President, Governor Fubara wants to meet with you about joining our party. This is important. Can I bring him?" At that meeting, with Uzodinma present, Fubara explained his situation to Tinubu and formally expressed interest in joining APC. Tinubu, already briefed by Uzodinma, gave his blessing. The decision was made right there. Step 4. Uzodinma coordinated with APC national leadership to ensure Fubara's registration and membership processing happened smoothly. He made sure there were no bureaucratic delays, no obstacles, no opportunities for anyone to sabotage the process. Step 5. When Wike found out what was happening and started making frantic calls trying to stop Fubara's defection, Uzodinma personally told APC national leaders, "Ignore Wike. The president has approved this. We are moving forward." This is why Wike's desperate attempts to stop Fubara failed. He called APC state chairman Tony Okocha. Okocha couldn't help because Uzodinma had already cleared the path. He called APC national leaders. They told him the decision came from the highest level. He tried reaching Tinubu, but Tinubu had already made his decision based on Uzodinma's recommendation. Wike was completely outmaneuvered. The man who thought he controlled everything couldn't stop one governor's defection because another governor who actually has the president's ear decided to make it happen. Now, when Wike realized Uzodinma was behind Fubara's defection, sources say he finally understood what had happened. This wasn't just Fubara making an independent decision. This was Uzodinma's revenge. This was Uzodinma teaching him, don't interfere in other states' politics. Don't think you can impose candidates in Imo State, and don't think every governor will tolerate your godfatherism the way your godson initially did. The poetic justice is perfect. Wike tried to take away Uzodinma's control of Imo State by imposing Anyanwu as APC candidate. So Uzodinma took away Wike's control of Rivers State by facilitating Fubara's defection to APC. Wike interfered where he shouldn't have. Uzodinma responded by helping his enemy escape his control. This is karma. This is what happens when you overreach. This is what happens when you treat other governor states like your personal political territory. This is what happens when you forget that in Nigerian politics, today's power can be tomorrow's vulnerability if you make the wrong enemy. And here's the beautiful part. Uzodinma didn't just get revenge, he also solved his own problem. Because now that Fubara is in APC, now that Rivers State is firmly in APC's column, Wike's argument for imposing Anyanwu in Imo State has collapsed. Wike was saying, give Anyanwu Imo ticket because he helped weaken PDP nationally. But with Fubara's defection, Rivers State, a much bigger prize than any individual politician's contribution, has come to APC. So the party's priority shifts from rewarding Anyanwu to protecting Fubara. And protecting Fubara means keeping Uzodinma happy, which means Anyanwu won't get that Imo governorship ticket. Uzodinma killed two birds with one stone. He got revenge on Wike for interfering in Imo State, and he eliminated the threat of Anyanwu being imposed as his opponent in 2027. Now, some people might ask, is this intimidation or karma?
My answer is, it's both. It's intimidation because Uzodinma used his power and proximity to Tinubu to outmaneuver Wike, to facilitate Fubara's defection against Wike's wishes, to essentially remove Rivers State from Wike's control. That's the use of superior power to defeat someone. But it's also karma because Wike brought this on himself. If Wike hadn't tried to interfere in Imo State politics, if he hadn't attempted to impose Anyanwu as governorship candidate without consulting Uzodinma, if he had stayed in his lane, none of this would have happened. Uzodinma only moved against Wike because Wike moved against him first. This is the law of political action and reaction. You touch another governor's state, that governor touches your base. You try to impose candidates in Imo, Uzodinma facilitates defection in Rivers. You disrespect a sitting governor, that governor engineers your political destruction. And the lesson for Wike and for every Nigerian politician is clear. Godfatherism has limits. You can control your state, you can build structures in your region, but the moment you try to extend that control to states where other powerful governors exist, you create enemies who will destroy you the first chance they get. Wike controlled Rivers State for years, but he thought that model could be exported to Imo State. He thought he could tell Uzodinma who should be APC's candidate. He thought his closeness to Tinubu through his FCT minister position gave him that kind of power. But he was wrong, because while Wike is close to Tinubu as FCT minister, Uzodinma is closer to Tinubu as chairman of Progressive Governors Forum and political advisor on Southeast affairs. When it came to a choice between what Wike wanted and what Uzodinma wanted, Tinubu chose Uzodinma. And that choice destroyed Wike's last remaining source of political relevance. Now I've told you the untold story of Uzodinma's revenge. I've shown you how Wike's attempt to interfere in Imo politics triggered the chain of events that led to Fubara's defection. I've revealed how Uzodinma facilitated everything, arranged the presidential meeting, cleared the obstacles, and ignored Wike's desperate attempts to stop it. But I want to hear from you. Question 1. Do you believe this story that Uzodinma orchestrated Fubara's defection as revenge for Wike interfering in Imo politics, or do you think Fubara's decision was independent? Question 2. Was Uzodinma right to teach Wike this lesson, or should he have addressed Wike's interference in Imo State through internal party channels instead? Question 3. Is what happened to Wike karma for trying to control politics beyond his state, or is it intimidation by a more powerful governor showing him who's boss? Question 4. Should Samuel Anyanwu have expected this outcome when he agreed to help Wike destabilize PDP? Did he realize that helping Wike would make him enemies among powerful governors like Uzodinma? Question 5. Does Hope Uzodinma really have more influence with President Tinubu than Nyesom Wike does? And if so, what does that say about Wike's actual power in the APC government? Question 6. Will Wike retaliate against Uzodinma for what he did, or has Wike learned that he cannot fight governors who have direct access to Tinubu? Question 7. Has Uzodinma set a precedent that governors who try to interfere in other states' politics will face coordinated retaliation from those states' governors? Question 8. Between Wike's attempt to impose Anyanwu in Imo and Uzodinma's facilitation of Fubara's defection, who crossed the line more? The person who interfered first or the person who retaliated? Scroll down and give me your analysis. Let's debate whether this was justified revenge or excessive intimidation and what it means for how Nigerian governors relate to each other going forward. What you've just watched is the story that explains everything that seemed confusing about Fubara's defection. Why did it happen so smoothly? Because Uzodinma facilitated it. Why couldn't Wike stop it? Because Uzodinma has more access to Tinubu than Wike does. Why did APC national leaders ignore Wike's objections? Because Uzodinma told them to. This is not speculation. This is what political insiders in Abuja have been saying for weeks. This is the behind-the-scenes story that mainstream media can't report because it involves private conversations, personal relationships, and political calculations that nobody wants on record. But the pattern is clear. Wike tried to interfere in Imo State by pushing Anyanwu for governorship ticket. Uzodinma discovered this interference. Uzodinma decided to teach Wike a lesson by facilitating Fubara's defection. And Tinubu trusting Uzodinma's judgment more than Wike's protestations, allowed it to happen. The result, Wike lost Rivers State, not just to Fubara, to Uzodinma's strategic revenge. Because when you make an enemy of a governor who has the president's ear, that governor can destroy your political base while you watch helplessly. If this video has revealed the real reason why Fubara's defection happened so smoothly, despite Wike's opposition, if you now understand that Hope Uzodinma was the hidden hand behind everything, hit that like button. Share this with everyone who's been asking how Fubara outmaneuvered Wike. The answer is that Uzodinma outmaneuvered Wike on Fubara's behalf. Subscribe to this channel because as the Wike-Uzodinma tension continues, as Anyanwu's governorship ambitions collapse, as the full implications of this revenge plot unfolds, we'll be here revealing what mainstream media won't tell you. Remember this lesson. In Nigerian politics, godfatherism works until you try to extend it to someone else's territory. The moment you cross that boundary, the moment you try to control politics in another governor's state, you create an enemy who will use their own power to destroy you. And if that enemy has better access to the president than you do, your destruction will be swift, complete, and irreversible. Nyesom Wike learned this lesson the hard way. He thought he could impose candidates in Imo State. Hope Uzodinma taught him, Imo is not Rivers. I am not Fubara. And when you touch my state, I'll take away yours. This is Okeyigbo Vlog. We don't just report what happened, we reveal why it happened and who made it happen.
Patient of days, how old as you are, how old as you are, you will never change. Patient of days, how old as you are, how old as you are, you will never change. You may not.
Let's spin.